Hello, students. Welcome back to another lesson. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. My name is Joseph, and I'm here to help you on your journey to learning and improving English. Learning English is important because it opens so many doors for you. Whether it's for your job, traveling, or even meeting new people, English is a language that can help you everywhere. But remember, improving your English is not something that happens overnight. It takes time, practice, and patience. Today, we're going to talk about some simple steps you can take to make your English better. And don't worry, I'll guide you through each one. So, let's get started and have some fun learning together. Now, let's talk about one of the most important steps to improving your English. Speaking. Yes, speaking English every day is the key. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you already know some English. The more you speak, the better you'll get. I know it can feel a little scary at first. You might be worried that you'll make mistakes or that you don't know enough words. But here's the truth. It's okay to make mistakes. Everyone does when they are learning a new language. The important thing is to keep speaking and not be afraid. The more you practice, the more confident you will feel. So how can you practice speaking English every day? There are many ways to do it, even if you don't have a lot of time or people to practice with. You can start by talking to yourself in English. Yes, you heard that right. Talk to yourself. It might feel funny at first, but it's a great way to practice. For example, when you're getting ready in the morning, try describing what you're doing in English. You could say, I am brushing my teeth, or I am putting on my shoes. Simple sentences like these can help you get used to thinking in English. Another great way to practice is to find a friend who is also learning English. You can have short conversations with them every day. You don't need to talk for hours. Just a few minutes of English conversation will help you a lot. You could talk about your day, what you ate for lunch, or your plans for the weekend. The more you talk, the more natural it will feel. If you don't have someone to practice with, don't worry. There are other ways to practice speaking. You can record yourself speaking on your phone. Choose a simple topic like your favorite food and talk about it for a minute or two. Then, listen to the recording. This will help you hear how you sound and find areas where you can improve. You can do this as often as you like, and it's a great way to see your progress over time. Another idea is to join online English-speaking groups. There are many groups on social media or apps where people come together to practice English. You can join conversations with people from all over the world. This will give you the chance to speak English with others and learn from them too. It's also important to remember that speaking English every day doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need to use big words or complicated sentences. Start with simple sentences and focus on getting comfortable speaking. The more you do it, the more your confidence will grow. Over time, you will notice that your speaking improves naturally. So, here's your challenge. Starting today, speak English every day. Whether you're talking to yourself, a friend, or joining an online group, make sure you practice. Even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes a day, it will make a big difference. Speaking is the best way to learn how to use the language in real life. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now, and you'll see how much progress you can make. Remember, speaking English every day is like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. You've got this, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. Let's move on to the next important step: listening to English. Now, you might be wondering why listening is so important. Well, listening is a huge part of learning any language. When you listen to English regularly, you start to understand how native speakers use the language in real life. You hear the rhythm, the tone, and how words flow together in sentences. It's like learning the music of the language, and it helps you pick up new words and phrases naturally. One of the easiest and most fun ways to improve your listening skills is by listening to English podcasts. There are so many great podcasts out there for English learners, from beginner to advanced levels. The best part about podcasts is that you can listen to them anytime, anywhere. Whether you're walking, cooking, or relaxing at home, you can put on a podcast and get used to hearing English. Start with short podcasts designed for beginners, and as you improve, you can challenge yourself with longer, more advanced ones. Another way to practice listening is by watching TV shows or movies in English. This is not only fun, but also really helpful for learning how people speak in everyday life. When you watch English TV shows or movies, you get to see and hear how native speakers communicate with each other. Pay attention to how they use certain words, how they ask questions, and how they answer them. If you're a beginner, don't worry about understanding every single word. You can use subtitles in English to help you follow along. Over time, you'll start to pick up new words and phrases without even realizing it. One of my favorite tips is to listen to English music. Music is a fantastic way to learn new vocabulary, improve your pronunciation, and have fun while doing it. Pick songs you like and listen to the lyrics. Try to sing along even if you don't know all the words yet. Singing along helps you practice the sounds of English, and because music sticks in your head, you'll remember the words more easily. You can also look up the lyrics online and read them as you listen. This will help you understand the meaning of the song and learn new words. Listening to English radio stations or news programs is another great way to improve. News programs are especially helpful because they often use clear and formal English, which makes it easier for beginners to follow along. Try to listen to the news for a few minutes every day. Even if you don't understand everything at first, don't get discouraged. The more you listen, the more familiar you will become with how English is used in different contexts. It's also a good idea to mix up your listening practice. Don't just stick to one type of listening activity. For example, you can listen to a podcast in the morning, watch a TV show in the evening, and listen to music throughout the day. This way, you're exposing yourself to different kinds of English. Some people speak fast, others speak slowly, and everyone has their own accent. By listening to different voices and styles, you'll become more flexible in understanding English in different situations. How does listening help? Listening is like training your brain to think in English. When you listen to English often, your brain starts to recognize patterns. You start to hear how sentences are structured, how words are pronounced, and how people express different emotions. You might not understand everything right away, but over time, things will start to click. You'll find that you can understand more and more without needing to translate everything in your head. Listening also helps you learn new vocabulary. When you hear new words in a podcast or TV show, you're hearing them in context. This means you can figure out what the words mean by paying attention to how they're used in sentences. For example, if someone says, "I'm exhausted," and they've just finished a long day at work, you can guess that exhausted means very tired. Learning words this way is much more effective than just memorizing lists of vocabulary. Another benefit of listening is that it improves your speaking skills. The more you listen, the more you learn how to pronounce words correctly. You'll hear the way native speakers say certain sounds and the intonation they use when they ask questions or express emotions. This will help you sound more natural when you speak English. Remember, speaking and listening go hand in hand. When you listen well, you'll speak better too. So here's what I want you to do. Try to listen to English every single day. It doesn't have to be for hours at a time. Just 10 or 15 minutes a day can make a big difference. Whether it's a podcast, a TV show, a song, or even a short news segment, the important thing is that you make listening a regular habit. The more you listen, the more comfortable you will feel with the language. Your ears will start to recognize common words and phrases, and your understanding of English will grow naturally. So, get your headphones ready, pick something to listen to, and enjoy the process of learning. You're doing great, and I'm excited to see how much progress you'll make. Now, let's talk about another important way to improve your English: reading. Reading is one of the best ways to learn new words, understand how sentences are made, and improve your grammar. When you read in English, you're not just learning new information, you're training your brain to think in English. You don't have to start with difficult books or long articles. If you're a beginner, it's better to start small. Simple books are a great place to begin. There are many books written especially for people who are learning English. These books use easy words and short sentences, so they are perfect for practicing. Try to choose a book that is interesting to you. It could be a story about something you like, such as animals, sports, or even a fairy tale you already know. When you enjoy what you're reading, it makes learning more fun. If you don't have books, don't worry. You can also read articles online. There are many websites that offer easy English reading materials. You can find news articles, blog posts, or short stories that are written in simple English. Just reading one article a day will help you learn new words and see how sentences are structured. Subtitles are another great tool for improving your reading. When you watch a movie or a TV show in English, try turning on the subtitles in English too. This way, you can listen to how people speak and see the words at the same time. Subtitles help you connect spoken and written English, which is really helpful for learning new vocabulary and understanding how sentences are formed. So, how does reading help you improve your English? Well, first, it builds your vocabulary. When you read, you come across words you might not hear in everyday conversations. For example, if you read a short story, you might find words like mysterious or delighted, which are not used as often in normal speech. When you see these words in a sentence, you can guess their meaning from the context. And if you don't understand a word, you can always look it up in a dictionary. Reading also helps you learn grammar and sentence structure. When you read, you see how words are put together to form sentences. You can learn where to place adjectives, how to use prepositions, and how to connect ideas with conjunctions like and, but, or because. The more you read, the more familiar you will become with how English works. You might not even realize it, but your brain is learning the rules of English grammar just by seeing how sentences are written. Another great thing about reading is that it helps you improve your writing. The more you read, the better you understand how to write your own sentences. You'll start to notice how different writers organize their ideas, how they describe things, and how they make their writing interesting. This will help you when you need to write in English, whether it's for school, work, or just a message to a friend. It's also important to make reading a daily habit. You don't need to read for hours every day. Even 10 or 15 minutes can make a big difference. Set aside a little time each day to read something in English. It could be a page from a book, an article, or even the subtitles while you watch a short video. The key is to practice regularly. The more you read, the easier it will become, and soon you'll start to see how much your English is improving. If you come across words or sentences you don't understand, don't get frustrated. It's normal to find new or difficult words when you read. When this happens, try to figure out the meaning from the rest of the sentence. If that doesn't work, you can write the word down and look it up later. This way, you're not just learning the meaning of one word, you're also learning how to use it in the right way. Remember, reading is a powerful tool for improving your English. It helps you learn new words, see how sentences are put together, and understand grammar in a natural way. So, find something to read today, whether it's a book, an article, or even subtitles, and start practicing. The more you read, the more confident you will become in using English. Keep going, and you'll see how far you can go. Now let's talk about something that can really help you improve your English. Keeping a vocabulary notebook. This is one of the best tools you can have for learning new words. When you come across a word you don't know, whether you hear it in a conversation, read it in a book, or see it in a movie, write it down in your notebook. By doing this, you're not just learning a word for the moment, you're building a collection of words that will help you improve your English day by day. Here's how it works. Every time you hear or see a new word, write it down right away. Don't just write the word itself, also write its meaning in English, maybe an example sentence, and even the pronunciation if it helps. For example, let's say you learn the word curious. In your notebook, you might write something like this. By writing all this information, you're helping yourself understand the word fully, not just the meaning, but also how to use it in a sentence. So, why is this helpful? First, it forces you to pay attention to new words. When you know you're going to write something down, you focus more on learning it. Second, keeping a vocabulary notebook allows you to review the words regularly. This is so important. It's easy to forget new words if you don't practice them. But if you review your notebook every day or even a few times a week, you'll remember those words much better. Here's a good method to use. At the end of each week, take some time to go back and look at all the words you wrote down. Say them out loud, read the example sentences, and try to make your own sentences using the words. The more you practice, the easier it will be to remember them. You can even test yourself. Cover up the meaning or the example sentence and see if you can remember what the word means just by looking at it. This makes your learning active, which helps your brain remember better. You don't have to limit yourself to words either. You can also write down phrases or idioms that you come across. For example, if you hear someone say, "break the ice," You can write that down and learn that it means to make people feel more comfortable in a conversation. Phrases like this can help you sound more natural when speaking English. Another tip is to organize your notebook in a way that makes it easy for you to use. You could write words in different categories like food, travel, or work. This makes it easier to review related words together. Or you could organize it by date, writing down the words you learned each day. Whatever method works for you, make sure it's something that helps you stay consistent. Keeping a vocabulary notebook also allows you to see how much progress you're making. Over time, you'll look back and see all the words you've learned, which can be really motivating. It's a great reminder of how far you've come and how much more you can still learn. So, here's your challenge. Starting today, begin keeping a vocabulary notebook. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can use a simple notebook, a phone app, or even a document on your computer. The most important thing is that you use it every day. Write down at least one new word or phrase each day and review it regularly. This small habit will make a huge difference in your English learning journey. Remember, learning vocabulary is like building a house. You need strong bricks, new words, and a good structure, practice, to make it solid. Your vocabulary notebook is the tool that will help you keep building. So, keep it with you, write in it often, and watch your English skills grow stronger day by day. Now, I want to talk about something very important. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. This is one of the biggest fears many people have when they are learning English or any language. But I'm here to tell you that mistakes are not something to be afraid of. They are actually a natural and important part of learning. When you are learning English, especially as a beginner, it's normal to make mistakes. You might use the wrong word, say something with incorrect grammar, or mispronounce something. That's okay. Mistakes are how we learn. Every time you make a mistake, you're giving yourself an opportunity to improve. The key is to learn from those mistakes, not to let them hold you back. Think about it this way. When a baby learns to walk, do they get it right on the first try? No. They fall down many times, but each time they get back up, they learn something new. It's the same with learning a language. You're going to stumble and make errors, but each time you do, you're getting closer to mastering English. Here's an example from my own experience. When I first started learning English, I made a lot of mistakes, especially when speaking. I remember one time I was trying to ask for directions, and instead of saying, "Can you help me find the bus station?" I accidentally said, "Can you help me fight the bus station?" It was a little embarrassing, but it also made me laugh. More importantly, it helped me remember the correct way to say it next time. The mistake stuck in my mind, and I never made that same mistake again. Let me share another story. I had a friend who was also learning English. He used to be very shy and didn't want to speak because he was afraid of making mistakes. But one day, he decided to push past his fear and just start talking, no matter what. At first, he made a lot of errors, and sometimes people didn't understand him. But he kept trying, and each time he learned something new. After a few months, his confidence grew, and his English got much better. If he had waited for the perfect time to start speaking without mistakes, he would still be waiting. But because he wasn't afraid to make mistakes, he made progress quickly. So, the lesson here is simple. Mistakes are your friends. They show you what you still need to learn, and they help you improve faster. If you never make mistakes, it means you're not challenging yourself enough. The more you push yourself to use English, the more mistakes you might make, but that's a good thing. Each mistake is a stepping stone to becoming a better English speaker. When you speak, write, or even read in English, try not to focus on being perfect. Instead, focus on communicating. The goal of learning English is to express yourself, to understand others, and to connect with people. If you make a mistake while doing that, it's okay. What's important is that you're trying and you're improving with every effort. Another tip: don't be too hard on yourself when you make a mistake. Everyone makes them, even native speakers. If you're speaking and you realize you said something wrong, just correct yourself and move on. If you don't know the right word or phrase, ask for help. Most people will be happy to help you, and they will appreciate that you're trying to speak their language. Remember, people will understand that you are learning, and they won't expect you to be perfect. So, here's what I want you to do. Embrace your mistakes. Don't avoid speaking or writing in English because you're afraid of getting it wrong. The more you use English, the more comfortable you will become, and the fewer mistakes you'll make over time. But even when you're more advanced, you'll still make some mistakes, and that's totally normal. The most important thing is to keep going, keep learning, and keep improving. Mistakes are not the end of the road. They're just part of the journey. So don't let the fear of making mistakes stop you from reaching your goals. Keep speaking, keep writing, keep learning, and you'll see just how much progress you can make. So, let's quickly go over what we've learned today. First, we talked about the importance of practicing speaking every day. Even a little practice can make a big difference. Then, we learned how listening to English through podcasts, TV shows, and music helps you get used to natural speech and pick up new words. We also discussed the benefits of reading English texts, which can help you improve your vocabulary, grammar, and sentence structure. After that, I encouraged you to keep a vocabulary notebook so you can track new words and review them regularly. And finally, we talked about how important it is to not worry about making mistakes, because mistakes are a part of learning. Remember, improving your English takes time and effort, but every little step you take brings you closer to your goal. It's like building a house brick by brick. One day you'll look back and realize how much progress you've made. Don't get discouraged if it feels difficult sometimes. That's normal. Just keep practicing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep trying. You are on an incredible journey to master English, and every day you are improving. Don't stop now. Whether it's speaking, listening, reading, or writing, find ways to use English as much as you can. Make it a part of your daily life. And remember, you can do it. Each time you practice, you're getting better, and before you know it, you'll see how far you've come. So, keep going, keep learning, and most importantly, believe in yourself. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become, and soon English will feel much easier. You've got this. Let's continue this journey together.